Om Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Param Ishwaro Guratmeti Murti Beda Vibhagine Vyomabda Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Savavedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Satguru Pranatoshmaham Om Shanti 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 Om. Okay, Namaste. Okay. I energize the universe. I draw and release the rainy waters. I alone am the cause of immortality as well mortality. I am the manifest as well as the unmanifest, or, or Arjuna. So he again, he's Krishna, Lord Krishna is exalting the nature, its very nature is Brahman, let's say, Saguna, Nirguna, Brahman, as a good representative of Brahman. He speaks in the name of Brahman, saying that everything is caused by this causeless principle, which causes things without doing anything because it's not a doer of anything, but somehow without which nothing of what we experience in this universe is possible. So Krishna comes to something which is recognized by all the people, the importance of the sun. So the sun, without which we don't have the miracle of life on this planet, and therefore the sun is a wonderful symbol of the Creator, of the Lord, because without the sun, so this is a dead planet. Some say without the sun, maybe no water, and then there is no life organisms in here, much less intelligent, complex organisms. And so the sun is a big symbol, energize the entire planet. We do survive because of the sun. The sun has to be at a certain proper distance. There was a time that there was so much into climate change, and I was following several biologists and scientists, and they used to explain. So we have what we have because we are at a certain range of distance to the sun, and a little bit over that range, life is no longer possible, and it may take still some millions of years, but we are there very much there at the edge. So it's mind-blowing to see, how life and human life comes to a place like such as the planet we live in, and the odds of this to appear and happen is so small, and the factors have to somehow combine together to make it possible, so that we are here experiencing this material world and not knowing very much. And most of us have no clue why we came here, why we are here, and we have a certain clue. It can only be an opportunity to convert experience into wisdom. So sun is a huge manifestation of Ishvara. We have the morning sun and the afternoon sun. We can do some rituals and prayers and ceremonies, pujas to the sun, but it's better to do at sunrise and sunset when the sun is okay. If you go to live in southern uh, India, no, northern India, like now, where the summer day temperatures come to the extreme of 47 degrees Celsius. The sun there is so strong, so strongly that they make houses with very small windows, so that the sun rays do not go in. And then they put all kinds of things that you can block the sun. And there are some systems that you keep pouring water on that thing that protects so that the sun hit that cover and then evaporates the water, but loses its power to transfer to the inside of the house. So we know that the midday sun can be a killer in certain circumstances. Used to be so hot, so hot, so hot that we used to go for a walk. Nobody could really sleep. At 10:30 in the evening, Sylvia and I would go for a walk. And then walking, yeah, and we will feel the heat of the sun, just coming up our legs like that. It was unbearable. Bottom line, people used to manage to begin sleeping at around midnight on the roof, on the ceiling, on the concrete roof of their homes. And then at 5 in the morning, the sun was so strong already that you would wake up already sweating. So the sun, we may complain about the sun, but if you don't like a strong, extreme weather like that, so we have the option to move somewhere else, or stay where we are and say, no, this is my parabada. I'm gonna live in Lucky now. Papaji used to play, saying, you are very lucky to live in Lucknow, And we would say, but this place, it feels more like a hell rather than heaven. Can you say something, Lynn, so that I have someone at my screen?
Sure.
Okay, that was it. So the sun is a symbol of God. It's the glory of God, the glory of sun in the morning, the glory of sun in the afternoon, and then the crops are going to grow provided we have enough water and so on. Without sun, everything is difficult. I have been learning here because you don't notice, but the trees, they keep growing. When I see my crops are not really producing, and then I learned that, so I have to catch up with the trees. They grow and I have to keep cutting some branches and this and that, and all the time cutting because everything keeps going, covering my view of the mountains and so on. Nothing stops moving and expanding. So the sun has to be regulated so that we can interact with it and enjoy the benefits of this wonderful symbol of God. Sun is taken as a representative of God, as I said, on those Varuna mantras, yeah? Because the more we think of the role of the sun, the more we understand that without the sun we can survive it, so on. It's an inexhaustible source of energy, we know. All other conventions, all other convention things are going to be in trouble. They are depleting. If you want an exhausted energy, you will have to go to solar. Okay, that's a good thing. I have done that. I think you did that as well. So we have this device that converts solar into electrical energy. Okay. And therefore, Krishna says, remember that the sun as well is my manifestations, my expression. It is one aspect, one among many aspects of my Vishvarupa manifestation. I am everything, and there are some symbols of myself. Anything can be used as a symbol, but the sun is a big one. Also, why the sun is such an important symbol of Brahman or Ishvara is because without the sun, we cannot know anything. You understand? So the most important sense organ we have is the vision, which allows us not only touching things or hearing some things, but see things. And without the sun, we don't see things. Sun is the illuminator. Sun is that which illumines and reveals our transactions, our interactions, you know. But we have electrical energy. Now we do have, but originally the sun is the most beautiful symbol of consciousness. The consciousness is the sun of the sun, is that without which we cannot see the light of the sun and see the objects illumined and revealed by the sun. So it's the pramana of the pramanas is consciousness, but the sun is an incredible, beautiful symbol of a pramana, a means without which we cannot see duality in this world. We cannot really interact with duality here, unless you live in an advanced kind of civilization that came from somewhere with the technology of producing artificial light even without the sun. Who knows? You know, nowadays, you know, anything is possible nowadays, you know. So, so Shwara says, Krishna says, I alone energize everything in your house. I'm the fire that cooks your food. So the fire is available as well. But in general, we cook with electrical or gas stove, you know, and heat is necessary in any case. Electrical energy is necessary in any case. Temperature will suddenly come down, minus. You go to the Himalayas, the sun can be really playing with us. You go to any kind of desert climate, you will see that it's so different, the temperature around beginning of the afternoon. It's so hot, so unbearable hot. But then in the late afternoon, it drops very quickly. And then in the middle of the night, it can be freezing. So you go to the Himalayas, you may experience that as well. The temperature suddenly comes down. And this is all due to the glory of Surya, this wonderful symbol of Ishwara. And the oceanic waters have to be evaporated. So this is a beautiful analogy. We have water, and we need water, but we need drinking water, pure water, not salt water. So salt water does not serve us, and to remove the salt of the ocean water is extremely expensive and unviable for societies in this planet. So we need the sun, we need Ishwara doing this for us, heating the ocean so that it evaporates the ocean water. And not only evaporates, and then it has to blow those kind of moistures or steam or clouds, no? And then to other areas, the mountains, for example, so that it can produce snow and can produce rain that feeds into the rivers. All of that Ishvara does for us for free. We just need to look around, understanding, and it's no wonder that every seed and develops around the river, you know, because we need the water. and water requires the sun. Sun evaporates the ocean, and then we have this flowing water. If the if Ishvara would not move these rainy clouds to the mountains, the rain would fall back into the ocean, and then again you don't have pure water, you have a mix of salt water with purified water. You know one thing, Lynn, it's sad that because nowadays it's very difficult to find real good pure drinking water in wells. You probably know that, no? And then the researchers come to the conclusion that the purest water we can find is from rainwaters. Mhm. You need to know how to collect that and then filter it, and then you have the best possible. It is unbelievable. And why? Because human beings are not involved. The Shwara does the process, evaporates the water of the ocean, and then it purifies it as it comes down. And we see in the gardens, vegetable gardens here, when the water comes from the rain, the the plants is just, it's very different. And then he says, Bhagwan transports the water for the right place, and then it condenses, and then it drops the water. And if all water is polluted, it's not due to Ishwara, it's due to Jiva's contribution. And then we have the concept, it's not only a concept, but we had a phenomenon called acid rain. So human beings polluted. And now they are talking about harvesting the rain. So meaning to say that in the end we have to rely on Ishwara and Bhagwan alone. Only Bhagwan is going to help us. So I'm going to rain and bring some purified water for you. Therefore, Christmas says, when it's too hot, do not complain. Appreciate it. The heat is necessary to produce evaporation, the purification of the water that comes down. That is going to feed the crops and is going to help producing food for us. Never complain, never take for granted. Appreciate Ishwara in all its expressions. Rainy waters are absorbed through the sunlight or the heat. So what do I do? Taking it to land. So and then I use winds, the air, the moving air, to bring it to the lands and to the mountains. The wind. And because of this alone, Arptan Kaiva. So this has two meaning. One is relative meaning, empirical, and another is philosophical. Because of this alone, Amtar Kaiva. Did you translate this passage by any chance? Okay. Let's see here. He says he's going to give you two meanings of that Sanskrit three words phrase there. The relative meaning is
I think it's the causing mortality, immortality,
okay.
Mrita, mortality.
I am the cause of survival because through the rains, I am the producer of food. I have clean water for you to drink as well. So, and then people can live, can escape from Maranam. Therefore, I am the cause of Amritam. I'm the cause of people living, surviving. by provide water and heat. And suppose I withdraw my blessing, and I say like I'm not gonna hit, and I'm not going to bless you with waters for 1 year or so. So no rains, no water, no sun. And the droughts in India, they have become more and more severe, big time. And then the cattle die, everything goes down. So I am the cause of life, but I am the cause of death as well. I'm responsible for prosperity, survive, but I'm responsible for destruction. I can bring down everything by just withdrawing my blessings. I can stop giving you the water. And as we know, Ishwara does not give or take things away deliberately. It's going to give as our palan, karma palan of people in general, civilization, So I'm responsible for giving you your living with water and heat to provide food and protection and clean water to drink and so on. But I'm doing that only because this meteor world of mine with in association with Maya is designed intelligently, and there are some intelligent laws and principles that are karma laws, karma principles. So karma means so cause and effect. If you live a responsible life, I will provide you with life, prosperity, water, and food. You're going to have a good time and survive. But if you act in an irresponsible way, I'm going to be responsible also for drought and death. Not that I want to do that. I'm just giving back to you the fruits of your actions. Yeah. So this is the practical angle of life and death. Mortality and on the philosophical angle, I'm the cause for mortality and immortality as well. So mortality is inherent to everyone's body mind sense complex. So everyone body mind is, let's say physical body more specifically, is subject to mortality. The philosophical angle of interpretation of this passage says that I can give you mortality and I can give you immortality. So from the standpoint of your physical body, it is mortal, has always been mortal, and it will always be mortal, okay? But you have the option to understand your true, limitless, immortal nature, and then I'm giving you immortality. How I give immortality? Through Atma Yanam. So the cause of immortality is Atma Yanam. I give Atma Yanam. I give these teachings. So I give immortality to the seekers of immortality, the seekers of truth. And I am the cause of mortality as well for those people who have no interest in immortality. They may say, no, I want to live forever, but they don't do anything in order to understand one's true nature as the immortal consciousness. So I bless people with knowledge and ignorance, and I do so according to their karma. Okay, so you need to have a huge spiritual vasana, a spiritual punya karma, so that we get in contact with these teachings, these Upanishad teachings, the nature of self-inquiry, in self-knowledge, Atmayanam. So, mama sattvaguna dara atasat karanan manana. So I am the cause of both mortality and immortality. That's what it says. Of course, everything is caused by Ishvara, but it's not caused by Ishvara deliberately because we don't live on a fatalistic kind of apparent reality. Okay, so there is something such as our free will and our choices of attitudes, words, and actions that are going to contribute, impact, or influence what Ishvara is going to give us. Okay? Ishvara is a system. He does not do anything which not connect with who we are and how we live our lives. So if our society nowadays came to an extreme of Adamic attitude, words, and deeds, you know, so what do we want? We want Ishvara to bless us with, with prosperity, love, and no, there will be more and more wars because people intoxicate with the desire for power and more control, more dominance, and everything. And everybody's lying about everything. You cannot trust anything anymore. So
You
Adam,
know, I'm looking at the world now and looking at all of that intoxication with that, and it's all based on fear. It's all based on a sense of smallness.
yeah,
It's the
definitely.
fundamental problem.
Yeah. It's fundamental behind the sense of smallness and fear or incompletion is the fundamental cause, which is self-ignorance. That's why the best thing we can do is to remove our own self-ignorance. And I know that's very few people are interested in removing their own self-ignorance, but it seems the only way. It seems to be the only way. And then one can have a small impact in one's environment and then may attract some other religious, dharmic people. And then who knows? I mean, who knows? I'm a pessimist in this sense. I think that the civilization we live in cannot be turned around to become a beautiful dharmic civilization. It needs to be brought down to begin again from the scratch. That's my take. You understand? But because you see the process, corruption is just infiltrating, impregnating every area, every aspect of our societies. This ignorance that compels people to have all this, war. Arms of mass destruction, destruction, not distraction, destruction, and more and more and more, and threatening, I want what you have, I want to take it on. So, how are we going to come out of this? People from the Christian societies, they are hoping that Christ is coming back to make order on everything. But then there are a lot of people who say that the return of Christ is not to fix things here, it's just to call his people to what they call to be a different order of reality, one of these uh, celestial heavens, in which you're going to live eternally in the company of God, let's say. So that can be said and understood if you read with a certain angle, understand the symbolism. Christ is going to come here to fix this mess. How? It come here maybe to judge everybody. Okay, but we don't need Christ to come here to judge anybody. Ishvara is the intelligent supreme order, and he knows exactly what is the palan that each one of us deserve. And then each one of us is going to be reborn in a place which is really in conformity or in harmony with our level or degree of purification or impurity or purity. You understand? That's how I see it.
I can't help but agree.
Mm.
And as you said just earlier so beautifully, that people don't take wisdom from experience, time and time again, dissatisfaction, limitation, and no seeking
Yeah,
for reality, for truth.
yeah.
It's pitiful.
People, they are so far lost into this mess of our societal cultures. And I mean, nobody comes to agreement with anything. And when they try to make agreement, man, what agreement, you know? They go around trying, no, I want to sit with you to find a deal, to find an agreement. What is the agreement? I mean, I have been watching the news. The the orange man goes around trying to make agreements. And what is the agreement? The agreement is you must surrender. You agree or we do not agree. You have to allow us to take everything from you because we decide to do so. We decide that you are the most dangerous thing. So that's how every empire have been doing in this planet since the day number one. Huh? So there is nobody really looking for a win-win agreement. It's just a question of more powerful. You don't have the cards to negotiate, so you take it, or we're going to burn you, destroy you, and blah 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 blah. So the physical body and is the manifest body. So now he's saying like the word sati and the sat here. I'm the cause of mortality and immortality. Okay, so the word sat in the sat asat hamiva, the word sat and the sat have several meanings, as we say, including reality and unreality. But here the meaning of sat is that which is physically, concretely, tangentially manifest. The concrete physical creation, we say it's sat from this angle because what? We can see its existence, okay? But we cannot see consciousness in the concrete physical world. In order to see consciousness, we need to see the sentient beings. Uh, Sat means concrete creation that which can be recognized as Brahman because it does exist. Well, how so? I can touch, smell, see, and so on. And the Sat means the invisible world, which means unmanifest, which is, in order to say it's unmanifest, has to be beyond or before even the subtle universe. Okay, it has to be in the causal uh, level, abstract, and so on. For example, physical body is the manifest, is the sat aspect of one's jivatma, the physical body. And the subtle body and the causal body are the asat aspects of the jivatma, meaning to say manifest and unmanifest. The physical body is manifest, the subtle body is manifest, but we can't see it. And the causal body is totally unmanifest, although it's still there in seed potential latent condition. So sat and the sat means that manifest and unmanifest. And he says, I am the cause of both. I'm managing all of this, even the most micro seed, such as a small seed, the Prakriti Maya, from where the entire cosmos emerged. This is myself, this is my Maya, this is my power. And that takes us to the verse 20. Once he has unfolded these aspects of its nature, he says, having worshipped me through yajñas, those people who know the three Vedas, who drink the soma-juice in Somayaga, and who are purified of impurities or sins, pray for access to the heavens. Having reached to the sacred world of Indra and other celestial lokas, they enjoy those pleasures, and they enjoy also the gods in heavens. Having worshipped me through yajnas, those people who know the three Vedas. So the first thing is, yajnas. Yajnas is one of those concepts that I have a little bit difficult to fully grasp its meaning and its the distinction between that and rituals or sadhanas or spiritual efforts. But it is more, from what I understand, it's a devotional attitude, religious devotional attitude. People who worship me through those kinds of sadhanas, people who know the three Vedas. He says the three Vedas. He does not say the four Vedas because one of the Vedas, as we have seen in the last class, refers to rituals. And in the Gita, we have Krishna Ji, the Guru, Krishna Guru, teaching. And he does not teach any rituals. He does not provide us with the technology or how to do rituals. Therefore, Krishna does not mention one of the Vedas. He says the three Vedas. Now, I can be worshipped by these people through the Vedas, which includes the Vedantas, who drink the soma-juice. Let's see what Swamiji is going to talk about this soma-juice. Maybe we find it in Amazon to buy. And who are purified of sins. These people, they pray for access to the heavens. And that's all right. Some people want that, and some people will get that if they get enough punya, enough purification. They will enjoy celestial pleasures. They will enjoy their gods. With the previous verse, that is the 19th verse, the topic of bhakti as a means of liberation is over. Now remember, the bhakti does not liberate directly, but indirectly. Because without devotion, this process becomes almost impossible to be really manifest. And you should very carefully note the bhakti, high, moksha, what I mean bhakti as a means. Now for the verse 20th to the 29th, Krishna wants to talk about two types of bhakti. Bhakti has two modes or two types, and what are they? Sakama and Niskama bhakti. I believe we are very familiarized with these two concepts. And Krishna is going to go into this one. He's going to be talking about those bhaktas that want to enjoy the pleasures of celestial heavens as well, as it seems. So what do you mean by that? Sakama bhakti is a bhakti through which a person seeks artha kama. So he wants what? Security and entertainment and satisfaction and favorable worldly conditions. So that is sakama bhakti, a bhakti which is utilized for people who are mostly material people. Okay, they want to have those basic things. Why they are material? They look for material ends because they are mostly interested in artha and kama, security and the pleasures and satisfactions and entertainment that you can gain with money. So this is the sakama. They want those things. Krishna does not want to say which one you should choose, sakama or niskama. He objectively presents these are the two forms of bhakti. Which to use, you have to decide. This is a personal, subconscious decision of everyone. Some people, they become a little bit divided. They get in contact with Vedanta and they see the light, behind the pursuit of Dharma and moksha. But somehow they have a lot of investment or need. They're still deluded by artha kama, and they remain with each foot in each one of these worlds. I mean, I want physical, material, worldly things, but I want spiritual elevation, purification, and moksha. So people, mostly they remain divided. That's common, natural. But fundamentally, a time will come in a process of maturity that one will gradually, not that one leave behind and neglect Artha Kama, but they start really seeing the value of Dharma Moksha and then start, going more and more into the pursuit of Dharma and Moksha. Dharma is very simple, although it's not easy. Is as we begin to understand the nature of Sagunishwara, we want to conform to its laws and principles, and then I make an effort to live according to God's laws and principles. And I developed, meanwhile, an attitude of love, reverence, and devotion, and thankfulness, gratitude for everything that God provides us. So this happens naturally as maturity takes place, and then we go more into Dharma. Dharma also needs to be seen of not only observance of Dharma, but also a desire to purify, refine, and grow spiritually, a desire to serve the Lord by serving the environment, serving the environment around us, So the most important for the Vedantine is the concept, in my opinion, of Dharma, because Dharma for Vedantine does not stop at Dharma. That's why we say Atakama, and Dharma Moksha. You want Dharma because Dharma is not just about going to these heavens and get spiritual punya and this and that. A lot of the time it's people see on those lines. But the ultimate desire for Dharma is not to conform to God's laws to go to heaven, but it is conform to God's laws because it's the easiest and the most natural and fast way to purify and refine the complex body mind to an extent that I can go into moksha, the pursuit of self-knowledge and moksha. I need to develop certain purification and so on. So that is the desire for moksha, improvement, purification, refinement. So entertainment and security, we understand. So you can still have a devotional relationship with Ishwara, but aiming those materialistic ends, goals. Okay, I want this, and I always want to invoke Ishwara to facilitate the success of my my endeavor. Niskama Bhakti is a person choose the same Bhakti and he says, I am not interested in that much interested in Artha Kama, but I am interested in Dharma. I understood that having got a lot of security, a lot of money and possessions and so on, After having enjoyed the pleasures and entertainment that money provides me with, I have understood the limitation because I remain unsatisfied with my existence. So now I start seeing the value on Dharma, and I see the Dharma not only for, going later on, leaving this physical order behind and go to one of these lokas. Vedanta is going to put it all, Vedas is going to put in the perspective that those punyas, they exhaust, and then one has to come back to produce more punya, you understand? So once you understand the limitation of these punyas, spiritual punya, as you pursue dharma, né? As a good niskama bhakta. So you, in the same way, you see the limitations of secured money and all those entertainments do not really deliver what we are looking for. And then the celestial locus, again, is not going to solve our problem because we are going to be sent back here. And then that takes us into the pursuit of self-knowledge and moksha, the only way we can get out of this cycle of actions and the results of actions, which are going to be punya papa, which are going to be exhausted and compelling us to go into more and more actions. So I am a bhakta, he says, the same bhakti yoga, let's say, whether it's karma or upasana. So here he's presenting a concept that it's very much developed in the 12th chapter. So you not only you are good karma yogi, but you need the same kind of devotional attitude to go into upasana as well. And then if it was not enough, the importance of devotion, you're going to need that for Dharma and Moksha as well. So both will come under Niskama Bhakti, and Niskama 6 Moksha. Ultimately, a Niskama who is a Vedantin, 6 Moksha, with the understanding that he needs to seek Dharma as the intermediary goal. I need to live in conformity with God's laws. I need to live with appreciation in my heart for everything, for the opportunity. And I need to live from the perspective that the spiritual vasana, spiritual purification, and so on, is a means, but the end is self-knowledge and moksha. And for that, devotion is absolutely a prerequisite, it's indispensable. So, and for moksha, we need to have this level of purification, refinement, which is often referred to as sadhana, katustaya, sampati, which are the qualifications necessary. So the bhakta at that level will pray, saying, "Oh Lord, give me, I have purity of mind. May I develop all the virtues. May I develop all the purification and refinement so that I develop the virtues which are required for self-knowledge." And if I have all the qualifications, I can pray for the opportunity to study the scriptures. Because there are a lot of purified people maybe who did not have the opportunity to come to the Upanishads, to the Vedanta. I have the qualifications. Now I got everything. Purity, I live a virtuous lifestyle and so on, observing Dharma. So now I need to have an opportunity of finding the scriptures and the guru so that I can go into the vichara, the investigation, Atma Vichara, where I will go, because that is this is the guiding principle. The Lord give me the opportunity for Shastra Vichara. And that is also Niskama Bhakti. It's a Bhakti now that has a huge devotion. And now that he has developed purity and virtues, now he still praying to Ishvara. Ishvara, find a way to bring me in contact with what I heard to be the scriptures on self-knowledge, and if possible, a guru. Okay, so I have got Shastra in my hand, but I have no guru, he says. Now he's dramatizing. That means that this Niskama Bhakti has to ask Ishvara. Ishvara, I understood. I got everything so far. You have been responding, and replying me with all my prayers, fructify my prayers, but yet I'm not able to understand properly these shastra, these scriptures. So I heard that I may need a guru. I have no guru. That means you have got Coca-Cola, but you do not have the bottle opener. Swamiji and these analogies with Coca-Cola. That's why he has problems there, physical problems, too much sugar. And without opener, you are not going to enjoy the Coca-Cola. You're going to sit watching the Coca-Cola bottle. So the scriptures are like Coca-Cola and needs to be opened and delivered by the guru. Guru is this special opener. It unfolds, it exposes. That is the power of our sampradaya. Sampradaya is the scripture, and now you can pray for the guru who is going to open. I mean, the scriptures, they are not enclosed or encrypted. It is what it is, but because it's such a subtle subject that it appears as irrational or encrypted, but it's not. So because of its subtlety, we need a good guru, a competent guru, and a guru that understands exactly what the scriptures are pointing to, one's very nature as limitless, infinite consciousness. Sampradaya is going to provide the guru as well. The scriptures are Ishvara, and the gurus are provided by Ishvara. And then you pray for a guru, and then you get a guru, and if you are not satisfied with the guru, pray for a better guru. All of these things are coming under bhakta, which is called Niskama Bhakta, Niskama Bhakti. Krishna wants to talk about Niskama as a comparative study of Sakama, Niskama Bhakti, the two kinds of seekers that fundamentally they have devotion as the most fundamental ingredient in this process, but they have different desires in their hearts. One is relating to God, invoking God for worldly accomplishments of desires, and the other wants spiritual purification, refinement, elevation, and then he's going to ask as well, please, now I'm purified by everything I have done so far. Now I have come to the gate of Jnana Yoga, and for that I need the Upanishad teachings, scriptures, and I need the Guru. Please give me both. So Bhakti starts with Sakama, always, ever, always. In the verse 2021, we starts with Sakama because majority of people are at this stage as a Sakama Bhakta. How do you differentiate both? Will there be a special color in the body or in the hair or in the eyes? No. I mean, sometimes we can note slight difference, physical expressions. We can see some people when they are very materialistic and worldly oriented, they tend to be more rajasic. They are a little bit more aggressive in accomplishing their goals. So, and people who are niskama, bhakta, they are more pure, more quiet in general. So they want the inner development rather than worldly gains. No? So there is no real external difference that but God knows, and we can never deceive Ishvara. It's based on the sankalpa, the motive, because one can even fake, I am this karma, look how I walk, like how I do, and this and that. But one can deceive anybody, but can never deceive Ishvara, because Ishvara looks through one's actions and poses and even attitudes. Ishvara is going to look into the motives, okay? Which are expressing this or that bhakta. If it is a religious activity, motives is indicated by mamopata samasta huge. A very big list, even by mistake, moksha would not come there. So many things will be there. So they want several things. He's talking, and I think Sakama Bhakta here. It's based on sankalpa, the motivation, and the goal, the motive, the desire, the ambition is for the worldly things. They do a lot of even rituals and ceremony, religious rituals and pujas, but the motive is worldly gains. And the list of my worldly desires is huge. Moksha is not going to be there, not even the last in the list. So if it is religious activity, the motivation will be indicate. If it's no religious activity, the motivation will be my business, my success, new house, and so on. What is the purpose of your business? Somebody asks, only for money making. Or you can say money making is incidental. But through the money, again, I help myself to develop my intellect by studying the scriptures, for example, with the help of a guru. So my development, my intellectual, mental intellect is my primary aim, and the money and what I can buy with money is incidental. So my main goal, achievement, concern is chitta, suddhi, pradhana activities that are going to help me to purify, refine, and develop certain qualifications. But if my interest is mostly money for the sake of buying worldly things and enjoy what I buy with money, then this bhakta is a sakama bhakta. And here Krishna says most of the people are interested in pleasure and entertainment, sense pleasures and entertainment. But according to the Vedic scriptures, the highest form of pleasure you gain in heaven. In the golden days, India would be the golden land, maybe, and you want to be living in India so that you can enjoy what is there in terms of pleasures and entertainment. But nowadays he says you find that in America. That's why everybody's rushing to America. So everybody goes to America and say, "Oh, you are pregnant, so get your visa, go there so that your child is born there, and then he can get a citizenship, and then later on you can get a green card." So those are the worldly sakama karmis, bhaktis, and then Swami I enjoy a little gossip here. Say that the culture here was so corrupted by Western materialism that it's known that Indian people go there and they try to hide that their Indian origin. So it is heaven-bound universe, which Krishna says they will have heaven, but they will come back. Now that the golden America seems to be coming to an end. So the American dream is coming to an end. So the Indians may have to go back to India and turn back to spirituality again. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Okay.
Thank you, Arlindo. See you on Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday
Right?
and Thursday we are scheduled. And namaste. Thank you, Sylvia, for your presence with us. It did help.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye bye.